My friends, is the evidence not compelling and overwhelming that this hike is nothing more than a confiscatory tax to which no Singaporean can escape, because water is vital to life? I will call it a tax on life. And the budget of 2017 will go down in infamy, because it is the Masagos water tax budget, or the tax on life budget. It is an infamy that is multiplied manifolds by the disgraceful comments of our ministers after the budget statement. You had the Minister for Environment and Water Resources tell Singaporeans, every consumer must feel the price of water the moment he or she turns on the tap. And then you had Indrani Raja telling Singaporeans, in not so many words, you have to increase your income to meet price increases. So she was telling every Singaporean, you go and bring back more bacon to feed our ravenous price increases. And at this point in time, at this stage of an economic downturn, you know what many Singaporeans, what many laid-off PMETs will tell her in her face? There is not a sausage out there. My friends, this is not the last tax hike you are going to get. We should all be mindful of the attitude of this government. And was it not so succinctly expressed by Mr. Heng Swee Keat 1 week ago, when he said, because of a maturing economy, the government has to find new ways to raise taxes, and we have to find new ways to raise revenue. Now, aren't his words an indictment themselves of the government's economic failure? You know, Singapore is now treated as a first world economy. But as far as I can recall, it has only been 12 to 15 years since we reached this elevated stage. And the government is telling us that our economy has now run out of steam. Revenues are slowing. And the only way they are now going to raise revenue is to tax the people more. I think that speaks very poorly of this PAP government, which has prided itself in the past of being economic masters. There are many first world countries out there that have had a far longer run and who are still going strong today. But we have run out of steam after 12 to 15 years. And are we surprised? The budget was full of statements about making Singapore an innovative society, an innovative economy. But when you read the budget speech carefully and you examine the details, you know the government is telling you, you want to be innovative, everything goes through the government. Everything goes through every government agency. This is no way to build a broad-based, innovative society. And it is reflected in the fact that for several years now, Singapore has languished in the bottom third of the global index for innovation output efficiency. Our government spends a lot of money trying to make us innovative. But the results are meager. And the results are meager because they do not lay down the basic infrastructure for an innovative society, which is simple, and which their founder Lee Kuan Yew once told 3 Harvard academics what it was all about. He said, China will never be as innovative as America, because in China there is no freedom of expression, there is no freedom of speech. So the PAP themselves know the formula for an innovative society, but because they want to control, they will not allow this freedom to take hold in Singapore. And mark my words, 5 years from now, we are going to look back at this Committee for Future Economy as a useless exercise, much like their 2010 report was useless. And you remember in that report, they promised Singaporeans, we will be able to increase productivity growth 2 to 3% a year, which means that if we get to 2020, we should have productivity growth by 30%. Am I right? 20 to 30%. Today, more than halfway through the decade, we are languishing with 0 or negative growth. So we get these periodical 5-year reports which are only fit to sit on the shelf to gather dust. Now we believe that it is the right of the people to hold on to more of their money and to spend it the way they need to. But the PAP wants to control the people's money, not just by this water hike. But if you look back at what they did with your CPF, when they broke the promise to pay people back the money at 55, was that not another indication that they wanted to hold on to your money? And when the PAP have run out of reasons to justify a 30% hike, they start talking about national security. You have a minister stand up in Parliament to preach existential principles, telling Singaporeans how many reservoirs we have. Really? If this was of national security, would we not have had a dialogue way before this hike? You know, the Ministry of Finance reached out, I think it was in December or January. It went on the website and told Singaporeans, let us have your views regarding budget 2017. Did we hear a pip squeak about national security of water? They have a so-called dialogue mechanism, which they call REACH, which I say reaches no one and reaches nowhere. On such a fundamental issue, on such a draconian hike, you will not even engage the Singaporean in a dialogue before the minister stands up and proclaims a 30% hike. And then you have another minister tell you, Singaporeans must trust their government to use money efficiently. You know what our reply to that should be? It is the old Ronald Reagan adage when he was negotiating nuclear arms with the Russians. And he used a Russian proverb, which translates to trust and verify. So when the PAP tells us trust them to use money efficiently, our reply should be verify, verify. And when you have ministers preaching existential principles to you, we will answer them politely but firmly. Do not take advantage of a Singaporean life. You shall not hose our people down with a tax on life. Thank you very much.
Well, Mr. Lim Tean has spoken, and he's a great orator. I hope that he will contest the next election and you will give him your support. Mr. Lim Tean, thank you very much.